Alright, thank you all and welcome back to Breathing is Highly Dangerous. This is Manny here again. Emily Ratajkowski was paid $25K to attend Super Bowl with Malaysian fugitive Low and recalls how X forced himself on her at 15. So forced himself is in quotes. Revealed she was once paid $25,000 to attend the Super Bowl with disgraced Malaysian financier Low Taik Jo, aka Joe Low. The 40-year-old fugitive is facing 8 charges of money laundering in the 1MDB scandal, and the 30-year-old new mother told of I was on the clock. Ratajkowski also said she was not shocked by the Jeffrey Epstein scandal, as she used to attend luxurious Coachella parties packed with powerful older men and good time girls. So what is she saying now? She was there, she got money, she got paid. And what does that have to do with Jeffrey Epstein and this guy that get charged for fraud? A lot of my experience at Coachella or whatever, the transaction wasn't defined. The terms of agreement weren't named. I found out later they invited girls who couldn't afford food or a nice meal out to these fancy dinners in LA. That was a motivator for them to come, and that's manipulation. No, it's not, because you could choose not to eat instead of going out somewhere if you don't like the transaction. I witnessed so much in that different forms, because if you're grown enough to go to Coachella, if you're grown enough to, how did you get the money to go to Coachella and you can't feed yourself? That means you got your priorities out of whack. You foolish idiot. What is she saying this stuff for? It's manipulation. No, it's taking advantage of an opportunity. Anyone that goes to Coachella, aren't they supposed to be over age anyway? Because the orders there is it not 18 plus? Age limit for Coachella, 18. You're supposed to be in adult age, so any form of manipulation is you allow, because you're an adult. And if you're going in there and you're not an adult, guess what? You are deceiving people. And that's your own fault. You as a child, you think you're mature enough, so you're so immature to think you're mature enough to manipulate grown adults. You're taking advantage of an opportunity that you wouldn't have had because you're not legally allowed to be in this position. So if you're saying young girls, you're 18, is she an adult or is she not? Can an adult be taken advantage of? Sure. If you weren't so hungry, you didn't go out. Why'd you spend money on Coachella tickets when you couldn't afford food? You got your priorities out of bloody whack. As I said before, I witnessed so much of that in different forms. Right before COVID, I went to some new nightclub and it was really empty. All of a sudden, 10, I would guess, if they weren't underage, then barely of age. There's no called barely of age. It's of age or not of age. Okay? Check it. Don't let these people fool you with these numbers. It's either you're of age or you're not. Either you're committing crime or you're not. It's not you almost committing a crime. It's either you're committing a crime or you're not. Models arrived with one guy. I was like, oh right, the same thing is still happening. Beautiful girls being out at a club and rich men paying indirectly to have them be there. Okay, they're taking advantage of this because you're allowing the system to flourish by being a part of it, and you know you're a part of it. And now you are where you are, and now you're complaining about how you got to where you are. You should not be where you are then. You should give all your money back. In her literary debut, My Body, dropping this Tuesday, Emily claimed singer Robin Thicke groped her breasts on the set of Blurred Lines video in 2013, and that photographer Jonathan later sexually assaulted her in 2011. Interesting. Okay, these were my experiences. I didn't want to look at because they made me feel out of control of my own life, and I was afraid of acknowledging that. I didn't sit down to write a list of the traumatic events in my life at all, but there was experiences that I had a lot of shame around, and there is this validation that comes with people reading it and recognizing your experiences as being real and existing. That means nothing. Just because you say something doesn't mean it's real and exists, even if it did happen. The existence of something is predicated on it having occurred, not having been said. Thank you very much. What is wrong with these people? You had a lot of shame. Okay, that's fine. If you were assaulted, I am more than happy to say someone should get charged. The Fendi by Versace catwalker was also described how her drunk ex-boyfriend, Owen 16, forced himself on her while she was too drunk to refuse at 15. So you all got drunk. You have a pattern of bad decision making. Getting drunk at 15. Your boyfriend forced himself on you. If he raped you, that's not your fault. But it's your responsibility not to get drunk. You knew you were drinking. You got yourself in that situation. If you were too naive to know that that's not your fault that you were raped. No one should be raped. Rape is no one's fault except the person that's doing the raping. But the way that you get there, where you are before you are raped, is your fault. Your condition that you're in before you were raped is your fault. Too drunk to refuse at 15. Okay. Listen, I'm showing my lack of sympathy. I have empathy, I empathize, but I will not relinquish you of your accountability in these matters. Naming what had happened with Owen was particularly healing, Emily told the mag. That was non-consensual sex. I was young. I hadn't even had sex before. So many young women I know their first early sex experience border on non-consensual. How do you border? It's either consensual or non-consensual. You cannot border on consensual. It's either consensual or non-consensual. It's either legal or not legal. Whether something is moral or not is the question. You're not allowed to make these. You're not allowed to put consensuality on a spectrum. That is binary. Legality is binary. Morality is what is also binary, but it's considered more spectral because of people's ignorance to how things affect other people. Legality and consensuality are not on spectrums. They are binary, no matter what anyone tries to tell you. Rodakowski said welcoming her first child, 8-month-old Sylvester Apollo Bear, with her husband of 3 years, Sebastian Bear McCord, was a transforming experience. Okay, you had a kid. Fantastic. As somebody who was always searching for control, all of a sudden I was completely out of control of my body. The Savage X Vintage Rose Turner, who prayed for beauty as a child. Every day you have something else happening and you don't know what's going on. I was especially nervous about childbirth, but I knew the only way to have a successful birth and for my body to be able to open up was just to surrender to it. Emily will bring her next 6-date My Book Body Tour by the Strand Manhattan this Tuesday with moderate. That should be the end of this article. It's not. Writer Judge Kelsey will then appear this Drew Barrymore show to promote the nonfiction book of essays. I would never tell a young woman not to model because I have had the success and financial success to be by myself. Time to write this book. The self-described feminist explained. Oh, I bet. And I have the ability to have this book be talked about in a way that an unknown writer wouldn't, and that's power. And that came through commodifying my image and my body. So you're a contradicting, conniving, exploitive, manipulative model, author, mother. That's not a good look. I don't know what any person that is not in that field in that frame of mind of oh, I feel bad for you that this happened. I'm certainly empathetic of the situation, of everything that was done to her, illegal things that were done to her that was not in control, that she had no control over. I'm not placing her accountable for those things. I'm placing her accountable for the other things. The things she did consensually. The career she chose to consensually stay within. The things that she's done to get where she's at. And she mentioned that right there. So I wouldn't tell other women not to be in this. But what are you going to tell them? What are you telling them? I'm not reading the book. I'm not going to. I don't care. So whatever she says, I hope it's true. I can't say that it's not. Because I'm not her. I wasn't there. But if everything she said is true, then she bears much more responsibility than she lets on. That's what that is. These are going to be split up. So appreciate you all watching this one again. We're going to come back in the next video. Look forward to it. Be blessed. Stay blessed. And I'll see you all in the next one.